First of all, just proud of our guys from Saturday night. Going back and looking at that, particularly in the third quarter, just came out at halftime ready to play. Put up some big points and got control of that game. So and then we're able to finish it off strong there in the fourth. But and to get to 6 wins, great job by our staff and our players. To be able to accomplish that, that's obviously a goal for every team. I think in college football, when you start out playing, you want to get to that 6-win plateau, and particularly for us, coming off what happened last year. We're not finished yet. We got a big game this weekend with Syracuse, and finish off there the last game with Kentucky. So there's still a lot of ball left ahead of us that we want to accomplish those 2 games there, and head that into the right direction as we head into postseason.
After a game like that, with how the emotions that go into that, I know there's a 24-hour rule, but how long do those celebrations you think kind of last for this week?
Well, you put it to bed on Sunday. It doesn't matter win or lose. You come back on Sunday and you learn from, the things that you didn't do well and what you did well, and then you apply them in practice. So we do the same routine. That's why we try to keep it consistent throughout the whole year. And you put that game to bed, it's all Syracuse after that practice. And that's kind of what we did all last night and what we're doing all day today. And we get on the practice field tomorrow, so you really celebrate that few hours after the game. You play a late game, it's very short-lived. And that's just the way this way it is for college football. So, and I like that. I like the fact that you can put those games to bed and win or lose, and you move on to the next week.
Coach, as far as Syracuse, they've been a little up and down this season, but put together quite a performance against Duke. What did you see on film that was just so different compared to how they've been playing?
Well, as I go back and I've watched a lot of their games this year, it's amazing to me to see, some of the stat lines just throughout the season. Because you watch the film, like watching the Clemson game, their defense played well against Clemson, and Trevor Lawrence is still playing with 7 minutes to go in that game. I think they've done some things to shoot themselves in the foot, offensively at times throughout the year. Giving up a lot of sacks, and defensively they're a pressure team playing a lot of man, and sometimes giving up some plays there. But man, if you just didn't know anything about their record or stats or anything, you watched the film, it looked pretty good to me. And so big time win for them last week. What they did with Duke, I think offensively was able to run the football. 2 guys over 100 yards rushing. Didn't have to throw the ball very much. And then defensively, shut Duke down, turning the ball over, had a pick 6. Just momentum, and just grabbed it and never let go of it. And obviously their best game of the season. And which we know they'll be riding high coming in here this weekend. They're sitting there with 4 wins, looking to try to get bowl eligible. For these last 2 games, we know we'll get their best shot. Coach Bever's done a great job with that program. I know there's kids got a lot of fight, so we have to come in here and we have to mentally say we got to play our best game. That's where we want to be this weekend.
When you first got these guys together and actually got them on the field back in February or whatever, did you think it was a group that could win 6, 7, or 8 games?
No, not in February. When we first got together, it was we knew there was a lot of work that needed to be done. Even after we finished spring practice, we thought we came a long ways between the first practice and the last practice in February. We actually, one of the comments several of us made was that we wish we could start spring all over again right now. We just felt like, now we got to the point where we're ready to start doing some ball. It just took 15 practices to just kind of get, used to everything. But so no, it's been a work in progress the whole time, and we still are. We're still fighting and battling every single day, to try to improve and to get better. Not only as a football team, but just in our daily habits. I think that's just so huge, and we still got a lot of work to do in that regard. But again, we're fighting it every day to as coaches and as players to be the best we can possibly be.
Hawk obviously went over 1,000 yards, just a couple yards away from breaking the freshman record, probably an all-conference season. Just what's been the key to his success, you think, this year?
Well, I think what we want to do. We say this from day one is be able to run the football, and can't remember if I said this early in the season, but whoever our running back's going to be, we felt like they got an opportunity to get 1,000 yards. I just saw App State's running back. It's 8 years in a row they've had a 1,000-yard rusher, and that's just what we want to do offensively. We've been able to carry that to here, and but Hawkins is the kind of player that you love as a running back. He's explosive, he's powerful. He's a little bit undersized, but he makes up for that just with his grit and his fight. And then I think our offensive line has played well in this year in blocking for the run. And we've made enough really big plays on the perimeter outside here to try to open up some of those rushing lanes throughout the season. I thought NC State, did the best job of anybody because they had 9-10 guys in that box. That, so I think that's why we were able to throw 5 touchdown passes also. But I think just overall, Hawkins has had a really, really nice season, and he's not done yet.
Coach, you have that divisive medieval implement of torture over there. You had a good turnover to a ratio on Saturday, and then Rush East had 2 strips. How important has that thing actually played as a role in your development?
I don't know. It plays a lot, I think. I think we went through a stretch at App where we didn't cause any fumbles. We were like, for a year and a half, I don't think we got one fumble in a year and a half, and so we got to do something. So we went out and purchased one of these things, and we started getting fumbles. I don't know what the magic is in that, but it works. I mean, it's just mental. You hit it. We hit it every day when we go to practice. I'm hitting it. All the coaches are hitting it. The players are hitting it. So we obviously want to be able to create turnovers. It's huge. You go back and look at the games we've won those turnover margins. We've won. Obviously the ones we haven't. I mean, you look at Miami. We're 0 for 3 in turnovers and turnover margin. So it's a big part of our success to be able to win turnover margin, and part of that is getting fumbles and getting interceptions.
Scott, you look at Syracuse. Tommy DeVito is, I think, the 3rd active longest streak of non-interceptionless. But what does he do, or have you seen him kind of grow on film and do? Yeah,
he's a good player. He's got a live arm. And what they do scheme wise, they kind of protect him. They're not throwing into many coverage situations with the RPOs. Usually it's a one-on-one look where he's got a clean look, pass and lane to throw the football. They utilize the screen game, the quick screens with the wide receivers, and a lot of quick games. So when you're doing that, you're going to take care of the football, and that gives them an opportunity. And then what they were able to do this weekend, running the football, it even helps them even more. So now you got to worry about Mo Neal and these guys running the football, and so now you got to commit another guy to stop the run, and that's going to open up more passing lanes. So he's done a good job taking care of the ball and with that regard, and obviously we want to try to do something to disrupt that, and hopefully we can rush the passer. We haven't been great at that. They have given up some sacks this year, and so hopefully we'll be able to create some pressure there, and maybe make them throw the ball earlier.
Scott, Vince was in here, and he said that a moment that stood out to him this year was your post-game speech at Florida State. Is there a moment, whether it be in practice, in a game, where you realized this 6-win thing could really be possible this year?
I don't think there's really one moment. I mentioned this before, but I think the first half of Notre Dame, I felt, man, these guys are competing. They're playing hard. They're fighting. We're right here in this game. At that point, I was like, we got a chance. And you never know what the season was going to how it was going to lay out, and how many games you're going to win, and all that. But I thought we would be able to be competitive from that point right at the beginning of the season. And you look at our schedule. This is pretty daunting as we looked at it initially. A lot of really good football teams coming off of last year with all the wins they had, and so that's why I didn't know. And I've never coached in this conference either. It's I know a lot about the ACC, but never coached week in and week out to see the competition that you have and what you're going to have to overcome. So, and I think our guys have played well enough. We're sitting here, and with 6 wins is pretty remarkable as we looked at it from the beginning of the season. And I'm proud of these guys, the way they continue to fight every single day. And again, we gotta finish it out strong.
No, there's been a lot said about your big play offense. How would you describe your offense? Do you have a name for it? Number one. 2, how have you seen it develop throughout the course of the season? But earlier, you want to get in those big plays.
Well, we want to be able to run the football, and when teams load up, we want to be able to throw it down the field. And I think we have the big play receivers to be able to do that. Tutu's had an all-conference type year, a very consistent big play guy for us. And we thought that going into this year. Fitzpatrick's had a really nice year as well. He's a big play receiver for us. Seth Dawkins, you couple that with Hassan Hall and Hawkins at the running back position, big play guys. And then we saw, Ford. I love Ford. Marshawn, he had a big game this past weekend with some of the big plays that he made. And we want to be able to do both, throw it and run the football. And because once they stop one side of the ball throwing or running, then you got to be able to do the other. And probably Saturday we probably should have thrown the ball a little bit more, really, because they were loading it up and playing a lot of man on the outside. But we just want to be an offense that can move the ball, take care of the football, stay on the sticks, and we've done a poor job with that this year. So we really have had to have big plays. The way we've had the tackles for loss and some sacks, we've had to have those big plays to be able to build ourselves out. And fortunate enough, we've been able to do that with some of those. And you look at Saturday night, with 2 of those touchdown passes were 3rd and long, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14 or something. I mean, and it's great to have those weapons to be able to bail yourself out.